there were 4 guiding principles involved. Firstly, the retention of the provincial championships and the retention of their status of winning it. Secondly, to provide additional quality games around the country, games which would be closely contested, would be meaningful, and would increase the profile of the game all around. Another consideration was that it should not impact negatively on club fixtures. The principle that any structure should aim to keep as much of April and August free for clubs. There was input from Custa Banishtiachta and from Ard Corla. It got the green light from both to be put before Congress. Basically, it envisages a 5-tier hurling championship, all run on the same basis, initially on a round-robin basis with promotion and relegation. The Liam McCarthy Cup in 2 provincial groups of 10 teams, where the top team would go to an All-Ireland semi-final, the next 2 quarter-finals, and relegation at the bottom. A new Tier 2 competition, which may look a little bit bare at the moment, without a name. But let me assure you, should it be adopted, this competition will get a name worthy of the competition, and a competition worthy of the name. Because these teams, in reality, have not had their own All-Ireland competition at their own level up to this. And this, I feel, will become a most prestigious addition to the calendar. The 3 further tiers, 3, 4 and 5, maintain the same system, round robin, promotion and relegation, providing more games for the teams involved. And finals between the top 2 teams, relegation and promotion at the bottom.
All squads were consulted in the process, and the feedback was that players want change. And more inter-county games was the main reason to reduce the training to games ratio which currently exists. 70% of the Liam McCarthy squads were in support of the Tier 1 competition, and specifically the running of a round-robin competition with each county having 2 home and 2 away games. It was more divided in the Tier 2 cohort, with the main concerns raised at the lack of progression to the Liam McCarthy competition in the same year as the reason for the lack of collective support at this particular juncture. However, motion 6 on the CLAR addresses this, and the GPA will indeed support that motion should this be passed. So, following further consultation with all our squads, suggested amendments were made to the CCCC, and a number of these suggestions are reflected in Ard Corla's motion to the satisfaction of the players. Following assurances that further consideration will be given to the scheduling of games in the Christie Ring, the Nicky Rackard and the Laurie Marr competitions to promote hurling at this level from 2018 onwards, the GPA will support the Ard Corla motion and would urge all delegates to do so also.
If you favour change as outlined by Ard Corla, you will be voting 1, which is yes. If you don't want any change and you favour the status quo, this is your opportunity to vote against this motion and vote 2. And as per Congress decision this year, it requires 60% of delegates voting. The motion is carried with 62%. I move on now as rapidly as I can. There are some amendments which we said were acceptable in the discussion leading up to Congress. So we have received some. I'll move to those. Motion 6 is in the name of Laois, Offaly and Meath.
We feel that the 2 teams that finish top of Tier 2 should come into the All-Ireland Championship proper. It's only fair. If not, it will actually destroy hurling in the weaker counties because they will have nothing to play for this year. They'll be only looking for the right to get into the 19 Championship. So the motion, as I said, is self-explanatory, and I'd ask the counties to be fair to the Tier 2 counties and don't put them out to wasteland altogether. So just ask you to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. If you agree with the amendment, which is in the name of Laois, Offaly and Meath, would you press 1 now, please? If you disagree, press 2. The amendment is carried with 87%.